Hello, beautiful souls. This message was really wanting to come through this morning, so I'm just doing it. And it is all about why we experience a dark night of the soul through our spiritual awakening, or when we perhaps come across our twin flame. And the reason why I highlight both of those is because they're very different journeys, but also similar in the way of a twin is experiencing this in a different way because it's connected to their other twin. However, a spiritual awakening is still the same type of process that you can go through on your evolutionary journey. Now, why we experience dark night of the soul to begin with is basically in this incarnation, you have chosen to become aware of that which you are. If we were to look at the whole experience of this human evolution of, and I'm talking as far as you can go into the future, as far as you can go into the past, it happens like that. That is all that's actually occurring. One single moment. Then we experience that moment really slowed down. Now, it's important to be aware that all possibilities exist at the same time. So everything has already happened. All the information exists. The future and the past have already happened, right? However, what we have the opportunity to do is, through the process of free will, alter our vibrational resonance to experience a different experience depending on what is in our frequency field according to our vibration. So, what does this have to do with dark night of the soul? Basically, when you choose to have your own internal mini explosion, right? What happens often is all of a sudden things start to come to light. Now, what triggers this in a twin is often connecting with your twin, and it's almost like a flash goes off inside you. For others, it can be your spiritual awakening. So it's often something traumatic happening, an accident, a loss through grief, trauma, childbirth. There are so many different ways that this can activate within you, but it is ultimately like an internal spark that sheds light on that which hasn't been seen thus far. Now, even that part isn't an accident, right? So when we come in, if we want to look at time, when we come into this incarnation, we are carrying the vibrational resonance of everything that seemingly happened before us, right? Of generational things, trauma, past life, everything like that. If we want to use the concept of time, right? But when you reach a certain point, it's helpful to know that everything is now, which means you have the opportunity to always, without any exception, alter what has happened through any time or space. So this means if you were, I got the remembering of being Genghis Khan in a past life, right? And I believe this was a bit of a challenge for me to, what was I going to do with it? If you don't know him, Google him. But why am I being shown this, right? And it was to be shown a great number of things, but energetically, everything can be transmuted. Everything can be altered vibrationally, and nothing has the power to hold you where you are as a mutable being, which we all are, unless you choose to hold on to it. Now, it isn't as easy as just going, I choose not to hold on to this anymore. Well, sometimes it actually is that easy. But what happens is what we have been taught, what we have believed, is creating our reality through our belief system. So the very first thing that's helpful to become aware of is that what you believe is keeping you where you are. So Where do I want to start with that? Identifying your truth. This is when it comes down to know thyself, because it doesn't really matter what thyself is, according to anybody. It matters what you believe you are. Now, everything is illusory. Everything is made up, right? Even what I'm saying is seemingly made up, because when we come up with these things, they're like doorways. They're like portals into be able to shift and alter our reality. Basically, if you've seen that crazy woman who is talking about light codes very loudly, and she's like, lately, Natalie someone, she makes herself so overpoweringly influential that people believe her, right? Because that's all that matters. They do the rest. As long as you believe it, you create it. So it doesn't matter what you believe. It matters where your beliefs are coming from and whether you choose to hold on to them. Do they serve you? Because when we're being programmed by society, it is actually holding us in a structure, in a system, through our belief system, right? And then we're born into that, into families who believe that. Then we go to schooling systems who teach that. Then we go into the, social media or whatever. Is everything is actually reconfirming the same belief system everywhere. Now, since social media, there's been a lot more options coming to light. There's been a lot more communication. There's been a lot more ability to spread knowledge about different beliefs. And we have been so conditioned to believe there's a way, that this is the core belief that we need to get rid of. Because there isn't one way. There is any way you choose, as long as you believe it, because you're ultimately the one creating it. So when we're talking about dark night of the soul, okay, it is a breaking down of these beliefs. It is the truth becoming known that we're actually living in a prison of our own creation through our belief system. And now, whatever trauma or whatever energy has been trapped through that has to be released and transmuted from the physical body, from the muscle memory, right? Because we've chosen the physical vessel is a manifestation of dense energy, right? Now, this energy is what these distortions is made up of. So if you ever notice, like people who have been on the healing journey for quite some time, they start to look younger. Perhaps they've got more youthful appeal. And it's very often because this dense energy is heavy, it's aging, it's weighing. And there's nothing wrong with aging. I'm actually really enjoying getting older. But what I'm saying is, the way your body is a manifestation of your vibration, of your energetic field. So this is why embodiment is so important and powerful, because we can mentally conceptualize till the cows come home and it won't do anything. We are energy. We have to transmute it. We can't think our way out of it. It's got to be actually processed through the physical body. Now, this can happen in many ways, which doesn't mean you have to yell and scream. That's not for everyone. Personally, it is so powerful. But if your experience in your generation, your trauma is needing that anger, has held on to that anger for so long, it's probably part of your journey. And that's a lot of people. It's a lot. Because we need to also realize that our conditioning has said this is right and this is wrong. So anger's wrong and being happy is right. So whenever we feel this emotion, which in Dark Night of the Soul can really arise to be seen because it's being light shed on it, saying, hey, this density's here, we've got to clear it. And if you're not aware that that needs to be done, you can just try to push yourself towards happy, and you can seek external things that try to give you that happiness. It doesn't work. And that's not what we're here for. When we're on our Dark Night of the Soul, it is all about transmuting and releasing this energy. This Kundalini Transmission Therapy, that these transmissions that I put up, right? This is what it's all about. She is about shedding the light on everything that is inside you. This is why Kundalini gets a bad rap, because it's your own distortions. When people go insane, it's their inability to face what's actually in their energetic field. This is why it's also beneficial to not do it alone and work with a practitioner, work one-on-one, work in a group setting. This stuff is so powerful and has the ability to really excel your journey. So if you're needing assistance, reach out as always. But when it comes to Dark Night of the Soul, the best thing we can do is allow it to occur. Document it. Write every day. Writing is also a way that we can get energy out, right? We don't want to keep it all just spinning around in our head. Breath work. Kundalini yoga is amazing for this. Doing breath of fire. You implement these little things. 20 minutes, half an hour a day, and you will see the difference in the energy, because the energy is coming up to be released. It's coming up to be transmuted because it's in your field and we're moving on and beyond that vibration. We don't want to stay there anymore, but it also means your whole life's going to change with it, right? The people you're around will move out of frequency and it's going to become uncomfortable to try to stay there. The job that you're in is going to start to get niggly and uncomfortable the longer you cling to it. This is what the Buddhists are talking about, the art of non-attachment, right? We have to allow ourselves to ascend, which is just, you're not going anywhere. You're just clearing your energetic field in the way of vibrationally awakening into the remembering of who you really are. That was a lot. Wow. I really hope this reaches the right person, because it was like, you need to get that video out there. Somebody needs to hear this. So let me know if that somebody is you, if this resonated. And please, if you support this whole movement, that we can allow ourselves to share our medicine with humanity, to awaken and shed light on all of our density and how to move through it. Please like and share and comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again. Thank you, beautiful soul. Hope this helps.